Can I ask you a question? All right, did you convert to Muslim?
It's Islam.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I didn't know. They were asking did you convert to Muslim. That's what I reinstated. Did you convert to Islam?
Oh, I don't want to make any political points about how Jews are disrespectful to Muslims as a whole, so I'll let that one slide. Yes, I did convert to Islam.
Wait, can I make something very clear, sir? I'm really sorry that if in any way Jews are disrespectful to Muslims. I love everybody, no matter what you are, who you are, what color skin you are, what religion you practice. I don't care what you do, what your beliefs are. I love people for people. I don't look at skin. I don't look at any of that shit. So please don't.
Good,
Thank you.
good. Me too. Good, me too. So it's good to hear that.
So okay, you converted to Islam. How's that? How's that going for you?
It's a beautiful religion, and it's the only way to truly find God because I believe God is a strong, fearsome force. And I think that not enough religions respect him in that regard or understand him in that way. And especially in the West, many religions are watered down to the point of basically insignificance. Nobody takes them seriously or adheres to their commandments or parameters, whereas Islam is very different. And I think that's how God should be worshipped, with red lines. I think that there should be lines of things you're allowed to do and not allowed to do, and they should not be crossed. It's very interesting, the world we live in now. We preach tolerance, but really what we're only preaching tolerance for is absolute degeneracy. They'll say, you need to be tolerant, tolerant, tolerant. Tolerance is a good thing, agreed. But there has to be a red line where being tolerant is simply detrimental to your heart, your spirit, and society. You can't sit and be tolerant of everything to the point where absolute degeneracy is purported and advertised and accelerated, where they're going to sit and say pedophilia is okay now as a sexual orientation. I don't think that's okay or fair, and I'm not going to be tolerant of certain things. I think that tolerance is weaponized to destroy the spirituality and the morality of humans. You're no longer allowed to have moral red lines because that makes you intolerant in the eyes of the matrix, and it is a lie. And this is how they've got society to this point. Aiden, I don't know if you understand that the Western world that you live in is failing. It is failing as a society. It's failing as an experiment. Every single thing about it is getting worse. Every metric that can be measured is getting worse in real time. It's getting more dangerous. People are less happy. People are having less families. Every single thing about the Western world is done. It is not the future. The future of the world is in other places because the Western world is an experience. The experiment has failed because of this idea of tolerance. And if you look at the people who are most famous, look at some of the Twitch streamers out in LA. The most famous people are not people of good moral standing. They're not people of strong convictions. They're not masculine men prepared to fight and to fight and defend a society. They're absolutely and utterly degenerate idiots. And America as a whole is pretty much finished and done now. In the next 50 years, it's going to be completely unlivable. Every single city is going to be on fire. And I don't know why nobody else pretends that they can't see this. It's just on its way out, and it's on its way out because people have forgotten God. That's what's happened. It doesn't cross anybody's mind that what's happening around them is it's unacceptable in the eyes of God. Do you understand me, or do I sound like a crazy man to you?
Mashallah, Andrew.
So I'm waiting for you here in Dubai. We'll go to the mosque together. It'll be beautiful.
Okay.
Book a flight. You're rich.
But you're richer. Will you fly to LA, pick me up in your jet?
I cannot touch ground in LA. Shaitan is from LA. It's dirty. It's the air. It will touch my skin, and I can't even be near the degeneracy.
How many kids do you have?
I'm 35, and if you guess the number correctly, I'll tell you.
Two kids?
Two, two. You think I'm some
Five kids.
five? You think I'm some
10.
closer? It's
12.
around there.
Okay, you have kids. Damn, I didn't know that.
Why wouldn't I?
Did they all have different baby mothers?
I mean, not all different, but there's been a few ovens to bake the bread. Women are slow, G. Like, I say this all the time. I'm like, listen, I have no problems having kids with one woman. It's fine. But if you're going to take 9 months to grow a single simple baby, then you're just messing about. That's your problem.
Come on, bro.
If you'll do it in 2 weeks and get your act together and be faster, then we won't have to do all this. But if you're going to take 9 months and mess about, then I need 20. So, I have no choice but to have four wives as Allah intended. That's why God told us men to have 4 wives, because they knew we needed large families and that women are slow. Allah understands. God understands. His word is golden for a reason. Do you have 4 wives yet?
Nah, I got none.
You know, if you got yourself a nice Islamic wife, she wouldn't cheat on you, she'd cook for you, she'd look after you, she wouldn't have an OnlyFans. You know, most of the problems you're facing currently with women can be solved by Islam.
Really?
I just told you why.
Wait, they actually don't cheat?
She'd have decency. She'd cover up. She'd be God-fearing. If her family would also keep an eye on her, so her family would tell her to obey her husband. She'd want your children. She'd look after you. Islamic women are the best. They understand that the best way to serve God is to also serve their husbands.
Where do I get one at?
So most of your problems could be solved.
Where do I get an Islamic woman at?
You must become a Muslim yourself first, my friend. And being a Muslim is not easy. There's a lot to learn. It's a long journey. Even I'm not a scholar. I'm learning. There's a lot to learn about how it works and the true word of God and the Quran and learning Arabic, etc. is not easy. But if you come to Dubai, you can begin the journey and you can talk to the same people I've talked to. And then halas, you get yourself an Islamic wife, and before you know it, you get to live in peace and happiness without worrying about getting plowed on an OnlyFans account. But you have to understand that the worldly goods, the worldly things that people find interesting, I'm totally and utterly beyond. I don't care about money. I have too much of it. I don't need fame. I have enough of that. I don't want hoes. I don't want sex with random women. I don't want clubs. I don't want restaurants. All of that is boring to me. The only thing that I find interesting is genuinely trying to save humanity by combating the matrix and opening up minds to be freed and worshiping God and God blessing me and favoring me and trying to become the best version of myself. All that shit is not interesting to me. So everything in Miami is just, it's repulsive. There's nothing in Miami for me. Does that make sense? If you went to Miami and you didn't want sluts, didn't want drugs, and didn't want to go to restaurants and clubs, why are you in Miami? There's nothing there. It's just degenerate godlessness. I don't like it. I hope you understand me. I'll do my best for you, but I don't like it. I'm here in Dubai. It's beautiful. The mosque is close by. I've got very important work to do. I'm going to go to a center of disabled children and donate $100,000 tomorrow. I'm going to look after them. I have things to do which are good for me and good for the world. I don't see what I can do in Miami. I can go to the club and be famous and stand with rappers and some girl who everyone's. I could do that. I could put my in number 82. Yeehaw, I win. Look what I did. I'm such a cool guy. Look, I banged this girl just because she has fake. It's vaporous. It's empty. I don't want to do any of these things, Aiden. I don't want to go. You have to understand. I don't need to do any of the shit.
Question? What is the meaning of life then, bro? Like what are we here for?
Once you realize that hedonism is a black hole and that you can pour endless attempts at filling it, you can endless girls. There's always a new one to. You can make endless money. There's always new money to make. Hedonism is a black hole, and if you're going to live that way, you're never going to feel satisfied. You have to genuinely decipher. Be perspicacious enough to look around you and work out what you think the world needs, and then try your very best to fulfill God's will to make the world a better place. You know what makes me happy?
What?
I'll tell you. I'll walk down the street and I'll see a construction worker here in Dubai who's working for $300 a month, and I'll just hand him a couple thousand dirhams at random. I like walking into the Starbucks and just paying for everyone's drink, just putting down for $500 to say everyone gets coffee. I like rescuing the dogs in Romania. I have a charity that rescues dogs in Romania. I like doing things that make me feel good inside because I know it pleases God. I will not, if I go to the club in Miami, top G, yeah. Everyone says I'm top G. I get some girl, she's really hot. Okay, fine. I f her. But unless we make a family one day, there was no point in any of it. It's just degenerate. And to make a family with a girl from Miami is hard because they don't know how to be mothers anymore. They don't know how to be a good, soft mother and look after the child and look after their man because they're broken people.
Who's the best?
So why would I do that? I don't want to do that.
Where do you find a good mother?
Well, a good mother needs to be a woman who understands that her feminine imperative and her duty is to be a mother. That's her duty to femininity as a whole. It's the most important and beautiful thing a woman can do is be a mother. But a girl who reluctantly becomes a mother or thinks that her career or going to the club or hanging out with her friends is just as important as being a mother is never going to be good at it. You're only good at the things you respect.
السلام عليكم. لا تنسوا الاعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة تشجيعا لنا لنستمر بنشر المزيد إن شاء الله.